Hello everyone and welcome to my corner of the world. This week is Movies That Move Me Week, and I have two movies, but one I'm only going to barely mention because I want to do a special video about it because I have a lot of things to say and I'm going to make a performance out of it. It's called Once Were Warriors. It's based in New Zealand. It's about a Maori family and it's a quite intense film. There's all kinds of themes in it that are very morally confronting, and so stay tuned for my channel if you're a subscriber. If you're not, it's alright. But yeah, stay tuned because I wrote a song for the film because it moved me that much, and I've got a few things to talk about, and I think it's really relevant. But anyway, the movie I want to talk about to you guys today is called Avatar. Now, a lot of people have knocked it back because they say it's a Ferngully and Pocahontas ripoff. Now, I agree with this wholeheartedly. It really is. When you watch those films, you can really see that it's completely and utterly just taken the storyline and put it in a different way. But what I like about it, to be quite honest, is it's an adult take on it. It's a new way to enjoy the plot, and it's not animated, and the graphics are amazing. Like, rather than he's shrunk by a magic fairy, he takes the form of their people and learns who they are, which is the same thing, it's just a new interpretation. They have Home Tree, which is exactly like Ferngully at the end when that huge green thing comes together. It looks exactly like Home Tree. They're betrayed, there's huge ass trucks that are trying and bulldozers and whatever trying to take down the trees. You can feel the pain of the trees in Ferngully the same way that the whole trees are connected. The whole film, while I agree, is so copied, I think it's a way for the adults to understand the film because, I mean, Ferngully essentially is a kid's film, and you'll find that not a lot of adults have actually seen it, and it's got a really powerful message. I mean, it doesn't have a Tim Curry number like Toxic Love, which is fabulous, but it's got so many more things that just make it so beautiful. Like, when they fall in love, there's no real intense sex scene, and it's just, you know, they're mated for life, but it's not genitals and all that and all nudity. It's a really pure way of showing love, and he learns a new culture, and I mean, he gets legs again. He can't even walk when he arrives, as if you've seen it, you'd know that he's in a wheelchair. It's kind of like a second chance for him, and I think that's beautiful because not only does he learn a new culture, he learns a new way of life. And I mean, the animals are new and amazing, and they connect to the earth. I mean, I wish we were more connected to our planet. If we were more connected to our planet, it probably wouldn't be so polluted, and it would probably be better off, to be quite honest. I mean, the pollution in this world these days is ridiculous. There's this thing called the Plastic Island in one of the oceans. I'm not sure really which one it is. It might be the Pacific Ocean, and they call it a soupy kind of. Oh, that word is so visual. It's like a plastic soup. Oh, yuck. Basically, because we throw away so much plastic, the ocean has kind of, through the currents, put together this island of plastic disgustingness, and that's our fault. That's on us. But anyway, the film, Avatar. My favourite scene is probably the part where, and it's not my favourite scene because it's an amazing scene, it's my favourite scene because it's the part that moved me the most. It's the part where Neytiri's father dies and she experiences such loss, and she's so sad and so angry, and then some of the people are getting shot down off ships, and then Home Tree's coming down, and that really intense tribal music plays, and that music moved me so much. I found myself crying at the film. I don't think there's ever been such emotionally evoking music in all my life, and that was a magpie because I live in Australia. But yeah, I mean, I can feel myself, like, tears are welling up in my eyes because it's such a beautiful film. Like, I find that there's such beauty in sadness. It is one of the most beautiful emotions to recreate, and I suppose in a way I thrive on it because there are so many different ways you can write sadness. There are so many different ways you can portray sadness, and it's not because it's fun. Sadness is not fun. It's just, yeah, there's beauty in sadness. I mean, tragedy is one of the hugest discourses in history. I mean, it's been written since Shakespearean times. He wrote some of the best tragedies that we take from today into our films. I mean, Romeo and Juliet is probably the most famous one that any of you will know. Almost every film that you can think of that has a boy and a girl who fall in love and they're torn apart because of people not accepting their love. That's Romeo and Juliet. I mean, Avatar has those discourses in it. What else? Pocahontas has that discourse. The Native Americans and, let's not call them cowboys because they're not the English. The Native Americans and the English, right? And there's just so many films. I mean, the list goes on forever, so I'm not going to sit here and tell them all to you. There is another film. It's called Hunger Games. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I imagine you would have. That movie really moved me because the scene where Rue dies, that is so intense. When I read the book, I cried for so long, and I'd never cried at a book before, but the way it was written was just so intense. And then the movie came out, and I went and saw the film on my own because no one would go with me. I don't even know why. I mean, it's probably because I don't have friends. Help me, I'm poor. I'm kidding. I have friends, I think. Do the voices in my head count? But yeah, I saw it on my own, and when she dies, and the spear, and I cried for 25 minutes straight. After that, I was sitting on my own, like bawling my eyes out. Like, it just tore up so much emotion in me. I couldn't even handle it. And the lady next to me turns around and goes, "Are you gonna be all right, dear?" And I'm on my own, so I look like this spastic child who's crying at a film on my own. I look like a loner who wishes that they weren't alone in the world, right? And I'm just like dying. I mean, everything in me is just falling out of my guts, and yeah, it was so intense. And again, it's that beauty, and I don't even know how to describe it. It's just so sadness. Anyway, to sum up, Avatar, where her father dies and they lose Home Tree, is one of the most intense scenes I've ever seen in my life, followed by The Hunger Games where Rue dies. Pollution is excessively bad in this country, I really wish it was better, and Romeo and Juliet's themes are probably the most prominent in today's society and film culture. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, I can't thank you enough. I really appreciate it. And I will see you guys next week. Ciao for now. This video was brought to you by The Color Ivory and the Disposition of Purity. We will see you next time on Time of Gay. Bye bye now.